What's up, Middle Georgia Dog Pound? Welcome to another edition of the Middle Georgia Dog Pound Live. I'm your host, Brian. Matt, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, partner? It's good to see you,
It,
man.
it is Horns Down week, baby. Horns Down. Oh, man. Cash Jones has caught it this week about doing the Horns Down, but I love it. I love it. If there's anybody that can throw the horns down, it's him because he's from Texas. And I think it was the greatest thing ever. And so it just shows the mentality of the UT fans, urinary tract infection fans, that they can't handle something simple as the horns down. Get so butthurt about it. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Hey guys, if this is your first time on the show, we are so glad to have you. We definitely want to hear your comments. Go on your comment section down at the bottom of the screen if you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube. Comment. We definitely want to hear from you, just like our good buddy, the professor, John Akaki. He says he's ready for the Texas Longhorns and go Dogs. Yes, absolutely. Last time we played Texas, they got the best of us. Was that the Cotton Bowl that we played in?
Yeah, it was it 2019 or something? But that was
2018.
18, yeah. But it was the season where we had like 13 of our starters who didn't play, so they felt all great about their big win, barely beating us. But you had a senior-led team. We had 13 starters who didn't play, and we still almost beat you. So it's not like it wasn't like a FSU beat down like we did last year. So they were back, right? And the next year they came
That's
out and
right.
they were great. And then what happened? They went to bed again that following year. So who cares?
That's right. That's right. So, guys, yeah, we'd love to hear from you. If you have a business, you want to be on the show, we'd love to have you on as a guest. Hit us up at middlegadawgpound@gmail.com. That's middlegadawg pound@gmail.com. Definitely love to hear from you. Well, Matt, we got to get into this previous week's game. I want to talk about it. There's some great things, and there's some things that I'm concerned about. Want to hear your opinion of it. But before we do that, well, I don't have the clip. Hold on just a second. Well, I don't have the clip. I was going to run the highlights. I guess I deleted it by accident. All right, so we're not doing that. But, Matt, let's talk about the game this past week. I thought we had it in hand, man. Coming in after halftime, just cruising right along, holding Mississippi State to 10 points. We're doing great. And what happened? I mean, it's like we just
I don't know. We
got
gave
complacent.
we gave it the big plays. But I think ultimately, if I'm watching the game, I didn't feel like any point in time the game was not gonna. We weren't gonna win the game. So I didn't feel like at any point in time, like, oh man, they're going to come back. I just felt like, no, they're making some big plays. We made a bad play that turned the whole game around, and even the announcers mentioned it. That interception in the end zone really changed the face of the game. We went from going up dramatically to them coming down the field and scoring a touchdown. So for at least it could have been a 17 point and went to back to 7 points, went to 10 points. So things just changed around a little bit there. But none of it was. I felt like it was they were going to really get close to winning. They just gave up some really big chunk plays. I don't understand the piece of it. And I think I'll start out. I mean, Matt Stinchcomb, old dog fan, he had it. He hit the nail on the head there. That secondary, their eye discipline was terrible that game. And so you not only do you have a 5-year or 6-year senior back there in Dan Jackson, but you have supposedly the best safety in the country, acclaimed, Starks, and he's getting beat. He's drawing into the simple coverage from a freshman. Like there are just some indisciplined things that were just not on target like they should be. And I'm not sure if it's because they didn't. I mean, they should have known this guy was the starter. They should know that he's not a big runner. He wasn't going to run. You should be watching that deep ball and continue. I'm sorry. I mean, like I said, I'm not the kind of person who wants to bang on a player, but Daniel Harris is not it. He is not the solution at corner. I know he's filling in sometime. You have to give Humphrey some time way as well, but he is not the guy there right now. He is struggle. He is struggling with covering wide receivers. So I'm not sure what the solution is by no means, but he is not the guy. He's continued to get beat on balls. Even that time they scored the long touchdown, that Humphreys was there. Humphreys all over the guy. Humphreys had great coverage. That's just a great pass and catch. Sometimes that happens, but allowing a guy to run rent free down the field, that's just not right.
Yeah, we got to. I mean, here's the reality: we got to get Ellis Robinson on the field, man. Got to get him on the field. I mean, he's the number one cornerback in the in Florida, and number 2 in the nation. I mean, the guy he's got talent. I know Kirby is just trying to get him some experience and get him up to speed, and he gives you this whole coach speak about how that he's blowing assignments and all this stuff. But dude, just get the dude on the field, man, because the other guys can't cover.
But I mean, so that's something that we had with other guys. It's not just that, how does he do the run game? If he can't come off a wide receiver, off a block wide receiver, and make a tackle, then he's no good either. I think that's some of the misconceptions we had. And while we lost, was it AJ Harris to Penn State? Great can cover. He can keep in cover, but he couldn't get off of blocks in the run game. So that could be some of the freshman stuff that he just has to get over. So it's great to put him out there, but we got a team that we're going to play up here that's going to, be on the road in a very hostile environment against a decently running team. Do we need to put him out there on that kind of stuff? I don't think so. I mean, I want him to not be discouraged coming into that kind of game. But yeah, he's got the talent, but sometimes guys doesn't always translation over into college, so it may take a little more time. But yeah, I hear what you're saying for sure.
But I felt like that in several of our offensive plays that our players just continue to fail on execution. For instance, Yurosek again. Etienne's running out of the backfield, and he just totally whiffs on the linebacker. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
All the time. I mean, I'm sorry. He's all the time. You're whatever his name is, he is terrible. I mean,
Yurosek.
He is a terrible blocker.
He is.
And
why do we have him in there to block?
I don't know. I mean, there are sometimes he'll make a block. I mean, you can fall down and make a good block on accident, right? So I mean, I know that happens, but he just cannot block. He's one of the leading, to my opinion, one of the leading issues with our run game right now is his failure to be able to block on the edges. He just gets out there and has nowhere to block. And here comes a linebacker rushing in because he has no clue what he's doing. He's looking in the backfield instead of watching the players in front of him. But, it is what it is. It's what we have right now. I mean, like you said, at this point, I'd rather put that other freshman guy. I'd rather bring in Riddell, bring him in and play. At least he'll catch some balls too.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll catch balls. I mean, Urosek's not catching balls either. So I don't understand the mindset of it. So it is what it is. You got to trust the coaches to make the right decision.
Totally agree. Any other takeaways from this week? I was trying to give us enough time for this show, the highlights to download. It's just sitting here going.
I do love how sometimes we once again we always proclaim on this show that we are no one special. We are no analysts of the game. We're not Formula college players or anybody who sits in front of a TV and analyzes data and stuff and things. Just guys who love watching football. I love us coming on the show saying, "Hey, the best way to beat this team because they're one of the worst running defenses in the country is to run all out at them." What does Bobo do? He throws up almost 500 yards passing on this team. These guys know stuff. They get it. I mean, even the announcer's saying, if they're going to play you so far back off the line, why not throw the ball around all day long? And they did it. I mean, we should have even scored more points, but what happens? We still have guys dropping passes. I think I posted something earlier this week on the page. I think that Beck has the second highest drop pass ratio in the country. His receivers has to pick it up. Yes, he's made some bad passes. I am not getting him off the hook. He's made some very poor decisions from time to time, but he's also being plagued with these guys dropping passes that hit them in the hands or in the chest or whatever it may be. He's got them. We can, on top of that, I mean, we can really do some serious damage, but that's got to step up. Guys got to catch the ball.
Yep, absolutely. Well, the game highlights finally sounds downloaded, so let's run them real quick.
Come out of the locker room, the number one thing I was saying was BYOJ. Bring your own juice. Those ones said that's exactly how we like it. The emphasis of today was play for your teammates, play for everybody here. Your performance has already shown what you can do in practice. We got to put it together for all 4 quarters, attack the football, but most importantly, play for the guys that's wearing that cheat and make sure you know you bring it today and play ball 4 quarters. So let's get it.
Just the way I want it. Just the way we want it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Pride in your performance. Right there, Giants.
BK, they say line them up.
I want to see your commitment to your pride in your performance. We do it for today because the way we practice. You have an opportunity to play football. You have an opportunity to put the ball down.
Everybody in this group right now that's sitting in red should have a love for one another, a connection for one another, and a passion for what we do.
Go, dog! Go! Yo, do it how we do it, like do it, man!
And listen to Sanford Stadium.
Well, the crowd, they answered the challenge.
To the end zone, he caught it. Dylan Bell, I think, yeah, touchdown. He play fakes the end around, hides the ball, throws it deep down the field. We've got Arian Smith breaking open. He makes the catch, tumbles to the turf. Beck, stretch, fake, drops back, throws it into the end zone. Caught, touchdown, Lawson Lucky. Snap it back to Van Buren. In the pocket, throws a deep ball, and it's going to be picked off by K.J. Bolden as he tumbles out of bounds. Goes quickly, deep ball down the middle. Arian Smith back in. Jumps, catches it at the 6. The defender just let him go.
Boy, just
Last 6 yards, he just quit tackling him. And it's a touchdown.
Get out!
Anthony Evans. Evans quickly to the 50 near sideline. It's to the right. They stop him at the 1, but he drives into the end zone. It's going to be a touchdown. He got help from 2 or 3 linemen.
Get the lights on. I'm gonna go home.
Thought that was a really excellent video that the Georgia media personnel put out. They did a really great job. Hated it for Branson Robinson with his MCL injury. I haven't heard the extent of it. I just heard it was an MCL injury and there was no timeline for when he would return. Have you heard anything different?
I have not, honestly.
Gotcha. Yep, sure hated that. Yeah, definitely going to need our running backs to step up. I mean, our running backs to be the next man up, right? I mean, it's an opportunity for more carries for Cash Jones and ETN and Nate Frazier. Thank you. Any idea? Heard anything about Robinson when he'll be back?
I don't know anything about that either. I haven't heard. I know it was supposed to be a few weeks and stuff, but he was out of his boot walking, but I don't know of anything particular. They did this guy. I guess we're talking about injuries and stuff. We did hear that we'll probably get Wilson back. And let's go ahead and give a round of applause to Bo for Bobo stepping in. He did a pretty good job.
He did a great job.
I mean, people can say all they want to. Oh, he's getting the nod because he's the son. That joker, he held in there. He did what he needed to do. He's not the starter, but he did what he needed to do, and he'll be a future player for sure. They said that maybe questionable could be Rattler's coming back. I don't see him
Wow.
playing. I don't see him playing. They're saying he's out of the boot. He's in a brace, but the guys always wear braces all the time. So you never know what we're going to see. They said he is running, so he could be. They say he's questionable, but Wilson is for sure probable, so he'll probably play.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely do. He's a lot more mobile than Bobo, but gosh, I mean, you saw Bobo running down the field on several blocked plays, man, and I was thoroughly impressed with his mobility. So, yeah, definitely be awesome to have him back and give us a little more depth there at offensive line. What do you make of all these near misses? I mean, Alabama almost lost that game. Probably should have lost that game if it wasn't for some stupid offensive play calling of, throwing the ball deep there with like 3 seconds left on the clock. They could have kicked a field goal and won it. I think I lost you, Matt. Are you there? Well, yeah, I think that the Matt, if you can hear me, you're not on there, buddy. All right, well, he gone. Yeah, as far as college football as a whole, I think the NIL and portal has been a great equalizer, especially in the SEC. You've seen what it has done for teams, just moving players from one school to the other. I mean, Vanderbilt is an excellent example of moving players from one roster to another, similar to what the NFL did, and it completely changes their outcome of their game. But I think we're going to see more of that as years progress with NIL and with parity. I mean, long gone are the days of Channing Tindall, right? Where he just rides the pine, comes in and fills in and still gets drafted in the first or second round. NFL, I think those days are gone. Those aren't coming back. But it's definitely equalized college football as a whole and made everybody more on an equal playing field, that anybody can get beat any day of the week. That is for dang sure. Well, we are at that point, Mr. Matt. It is time for us to hear from the professor. So let's bring him on, Mr. Akaki himself.
I don't hear anything.
In the Cotton Bowl and Bluebonnet Bowl.
All right, we're going to start him over.
Good afternoon, Middle Georgia Dog Pound. It's the professor coming to you. It is Thursday afternoon. The Dogs will be leaving in the morning for Austin. I don't know if you realize this, but we've never played there as a team. We've certainly played in Texas in the Cotton Bowl and Bluebonnet Bowls. And I don't remember if we've ever played at Texas A&M. I don't believe we have. They usually come to Stanford Stadium. And next year, Texas will come to Athens. So let's get on with what kind of knowledge or impart I'd like to express to you. I did write a little bit of a prelude that in the season of change and changes, what's causing what we seem to believe is a little less sharp team, a team that's not as proficient as they normally would be. But before we dive into that, a little colloquialism. Again, I got 4 of them actually that will pertain to this week's game. Texas has been living in high cotton, and that's a Southern term, and they have been smelling success, experienced success. They are a formidable opponent in the SEC. This is their first year, and they've got an undefeated record. How about this one? Too big for their britches. That's another little colloquialism that talks about when a Southerner sees somebody full of it, they seem to kind of say behind their backs, they're kind of too big for their britches. But can't, never, could would be something that may pertain to the Bulldogs. If they come to play, if you don't come ready, you don't have a chance. So let's just hope they're ready. And the other one that I like, big hat, no cattle. It's a Texas phrase for somebody that appears to be dressed to the nines, got a beautiful hat. He maybe even have a nice horse, but has no property and no cattle, meaning they're a little bit of a fraud, so to speak, trying to be a classy person, but they really don't have any cash behind it, no cattle. In the season of change, one of the biggest things, I had a discussion with Paul Pastrisco and Bill Krug this week. We kind of bounced some things off, and another friend, Keenan Parrish. I don't think we're hungry. Certainly, we want success, but is Texas more hungry? I would seem to think so. You know, they haven't ever been in the SEC. This is their first year. It's been since Vince Young in 2008 since they've won it all. Mac Brown was the coach. It's been a long time for Texas, and they have a certain degree of advantage over us in that we've smelled success over the last 3 years several times. I don't know how many players on our team have rings, but it gets in the way of who's the hungriest of the hungries. And certainly Kirby tries to keep him sharp, no complacency, but you know it's sneaking in. And then you throw in the transfer portal and NIL, and the kids are inflated ego-wise. They have everything they've ever wanted. Really too soon, I think. A lot of guys can't handle it. The automobiles are faster. They seem to not honor the speed limit, and they certainly get outside their skin. And then you throw in the paparazzi that's probably after them. A lot of women are after them. They know there's going to be a cash cow there at some point, and they've already got cash. So it's a double-edged sword for our dogs, and hunger is a big issue. I mean, Vandy's hungry. You look at Vandy, I mean, they are hungry. They got a quarterback in Mexico State. They've bought some linemen, and they're relevant. And the dogs have got to desire it more, I believe. Too much success and not as focused as they are or should be. I'm reading some points here. We need some new stars to emerge. We're starting to see that with Dylan Bell and ETN. Mikael Williams has not had a tackle in the last 2 games. I don't know if he's out of shape or if he's still limping or he's still not ready, but we got to unleash the dog. And that may be a result of no blitzing and trying to play the edge, which I don't think we've played the edge very well. And I think Kirby would say that too. The secondary has been decimated. If you think about it, we lost Tyke, we lost Lassiter, we lost Smith, and we lost Bullard in the last season and a half, 2 seasons. That's a lot of production and a lot of quality players, all playing in the NFL, if I might add. And the guys that have come forward just ain't ready. They may not be those guys. They may never be those guys. They may never measure up. So we've got that issue to contend with. Too many wars. You think about it. I think everybody on the team was either first or second team SEC. I mean, when you get to it, human nature says, I already got it made. What do I got to do? I just got to show up. And Kirby's even backed off on tackling in practice and doing thud because the depth is not there. We got a lot of things to overcome. Expectations might have been too high for this team. And they're feeling the pressure of that. Think about that, what they've got to face with as far as the Dog Nation and what they've got to produce. Not that they're not good players. I think we've got excellent players. The money has had an effect. There's no doubt about it. I've gone over that. Throw in the depth issues. I've thrown in that. And I've discussed the cornerbacks. I think they're playing a little bit too soft. They're not aggressive enough. I don't know if we really believe they can play man-to-man. Like Alabama did against us, and they stifled us. But we have these we need some alpha hitters out there on defense, and I hope it happens in Texas that some new people emerge. But we need to become hungry again, and that's kind of the professor's thoughts on the changes that are happening. There's a lot going on. A young man has so much to deal with, and Georgia has been on the top of the mountain. So they say people get fed in the valley. You know, if you've ever had difficulties in life, the valley's where the food is made. All the crops are grown in the valley. The fertile soils are down there. And up on the mountain, top of the mountain, there's less to eat. There's less oxygen, and it's hard to stay on the top of the mountain. So to whom much is given, much is expected. And we're at that point where the dogs have created a monster amongst themselves. But I just want you to enjoy the game. It's at 7:30 tomorrow, Saturday night in Austin, Texas. Two of the best college towns in America. We got Austin right now, and then next year Texas comes to Athens. So enjoy the show on TV. I'm going to send it back to our administrators on the Dog Pound show. Enjoy you. Go Dogs. And I believe we might sneak out of Texas with a win. Out of here. Bye-bye.
Ron, you're on mute.
Here, yep, I was on mute. Yeah, how much? Yes, good words from the professor. I'm over here talking and nobody can hear me. So thanks, John Akaki, for bringing us those words of wisdom, some good words of wisdom for life as well. Getting fed in the valley. So yeah, good stuff. So yeah, just like you said last week, Matt, I agree with John. I think at some point us as dog fans have been spoiled by the riches, right? And so we are expecting to see that world beater team every single week and every single year. And this might not be the year. I mean, they may develop into that, but they're not showing it to us so far. So we just got to enjoy the ride, go one game at a time, and be good fans and DGDs and support these guys.
Yeah, but Tug, definitely to his point, I can definitely see how we've gotten a lot softer this year than we have in the past. Tackling has not been where it's at, and I think he's got a point there. If we're not tackling in practice, I mean, how do you expect to make those tackles in the game on a live person who knows you're supposed to tackle them? It's a completely different story. I just don't understand it. We always made fun and joked about the schools who didn't do the tackling and how that would show up on the field. And guess what? It showed up on the field. We're hopping on people's backs instead of tackling with the legs. We're missing stuff. We're completely being soft on these, no armed. I'm gonna tackle with my back kind of stuff. It's just we gotta learn how to wrap up again and do it. And I tell you right now, the only person I really see who does that is Dan Jackson.
Yep, absolutely. Well, it is that time, my friend. It is time for Paul's Calls. So let's get into this thing.
As referenced in our opening, our first play is a two-play vignette. Now, the first play illustrates a current playing rules interpretation that we have. We're late in the game. We see here that defenders, they just grab and hold all the receivers, not letting them out on their routes to disrupt the play and ultimately burn time off the clock. Now, the current interpretation takes these holding fouls, convert them to unsportsmanlike conduct, and we penalize that. And you can tell these players are blatantly committing a foul to gain a time advantage. But more importantly, we're going to reset the game clock to the time of the snap, and the clock will not start until the next snap. Now, as we look at a play from our past weekend's games, and let me say, the crew handled the play according to our rule, but we see we're late in the game, the offense is snapping with 10 seconds remaining, and they're going to throw a pass that is broken up, and the game clock stops at 6 seconds. And as we go back and take a look at the all-22 camera, we see that the defense has 12 players on the field, and these players all participate in the play. Now, our new interpretation is that after the 2-minute timeout in either half, if the defense commits a substitution foul, which they did here, and have 12 or more players on the field and they participate in the down, then officials will penalize the defense for the substitution foul, but at the option of the offended team will reset the game clock back to the time displayed at the snap. The game clock will then restart on the next snap. So here, after the 5-yard penalty on the defense from the previous spot, we would reset the clock to 10 seconds, and it would start on the next snap. And the offense would get to repeat third down. Now, if the 12th defender was attempting to exit but was still on the field of play at the snap and had no influence on the play, then the normal substitution penalty would be enforced with no clock adjustment. But I think we'd all agree here that these 12 players did participate in the play. And this new interpretation, it really eliminates any potential clock advantage by the defense for having 12 or more players on the field. Play 3, the offense is going to run a gadget play, and it really has a couple components to it. Now, first, the quarterback takes the snap, passes backward out to number 15, and then 15 throws long to number 44 in the end zone for a touchdown. Now, by rule, the offense is allowed only one forward pass during the down, but the first pass here is clearly backwards, so they meet this requirement. But the other part of the play is legal, but something we rarely see. As we look at the shift, number 44, who caught the touchdown pass is actually going to be the center. He snaps the ball. Now, we've received questions, can the center be an eligible pass receiver? But as we look at the alignment here at the snap, the offense meets all the requirements for a legal formation. They have no more than 4 backs. They have 5 players on the line, number 50 to 79, and number 44 is on the end of the line with an eligible number. So the formation is legal, and number 44 is an eligible receiver because he's on the end of his line, and he has an eligible number. So yes, if done properly, the center can be an eligible receiver. Play forward late in the game, and the kickers are going to try an onside kick. Now, it's a little bit of a different onside kick, but it's very effective. The ball seems to curve, is first touched by the receivers, and after a scramble, the kicking team is going to recover it just beyond midfield. Now, as we go back and take a look at the kick, this is considered a legal drop kick. And by rule, a kickoff must either be a place kick or a drop kick. We're very familiar with the place kick. It's usually on a tee, but it can be on the ground, touching the tee, or just on the ground by itself. But a drop kick, which is used here, by rule, is a kick when a player drops the ball and kicks it as it touches the ground. Now, if the kicker drops it, lets it bounce back up in the air, and then kicks it, it's an illegal kick. But here, this was executed properly. And as a reminder, a free kick after a safety is like a kickoff. It can be a place kick or a drop kick, but it can also be a punt following a safety. Play 5, we're late in the game. The defense is up by 2 points, and that's going to be important here. And we see a deep pass that's intercepted by number 1 in the field of play. He goes back into his own end zone. He seems to look as if he's going to take a knee, and then a teammate encourages him to run and get it out of the end zone, and he does. Now, we've received a number of questions. What would have happened if the player took a knee here? Would it have been a safety? Now, we know it's a safety if a player possesses a ball and if it's declared dead in his own end zone. And a 2-point safety here would have tied the game. But there's a momentum rule that is an exception to the safety. And it says it's not a safety if a player between their own team's 5-yard line and goal line, if they intercept the pass and their original momentum carries them into their own end zone, and the ball remains behind that team's goal line and is declared dead there, then it is not a safety, and the ball is going to belong to that team at the spot where that player gained possession. So had the player taken a knee in his own end zone, the ball would have come back out to the point of the interception about the 3-yard line, and his team would have had the ball there. And we can see the back judge, he does a good job. He gets his beanbag out, and he marks the spot, that momentum spot, in case.
Those were all good videos, and I do thank our good friend Paul Patrisco for sending those in to us every week. That formation with that pass back, that was pretty cool. I've never seen that before, so those are all interesting. There was a couple more videos, but we ain't got time for them. We got to roll on, man. We're already after 8:30, so we have got to get to moving. So we're going to just jump right into our next segment, which is Krug's Crunches, and I'd be remiss if I didn't offer my condolences to Bill Krug. He lost his mom this week, lived a long life of 100 years. So just absolutely amazing. And we tip our hat to Bill, and definitely in our prayers and our thoughts. And we love you, and we're thinking of you here on the Middle Georgia Dog Pound. And so let's run run those highlights, Bill.
Won the third, 14-3. Hard hit. Flag comes flying from the back judge. Martavius French depletes the receiver.
So Middle Tennessee forced to punt again. They've had two 75-yard touchdown drives for their first two. Here comes the return and a hit. Solo Lewis gets run.
Play clock down to one when they snap it. Well done. Wow. Sims got leveled by Robinson. Timeout, Georgia State.
Yes, what's my favorite game I've ever done? Each and every year I've ever done that game, I just love everything about it. Here is Henderson on the return as he is met. Ball comes out! The ball comes out! As Alabama looks to have recovered, and they have. And things are getting crazy here. We just had an 8-minute and 40-second drive. And you know South Carolina is
lean on your defense and special teams right now. So third and six, Holstein in the pocket, throws across the middle, and a huge hit. The tackle short of the line to gain by Craig Woodson. My goodness.
Second down. Pressure coming in, look out, he's sacked, taken down, Josiah Allen. And Scotty Walden on the sideline is fired up.
But a big hit. Catapulting in the air there was Hester.
Who's second in the Sun Belt, averaging 45 yards per punt. Sends it downfield. He caught it. The 38 dropped right away. Isaiah
Getting the stop early on defense and a big sack, and now they move the sticks here. First down attempt at the 42. McConnell with some pressure. Rolls out a bit. And nowhere to go is going to get hit hard there by Darius Thomas. No flags. Loss of yardage on the play.
On the run that went nowhere from Brown. Vandegrift fires over the middle. Caught and a flag. Dak somehow hauled it in. It took targeting off. They said the forcible contact was to the shoulder on this guy. So C.J. Taylor will stay.
All right. All good videos honoring our good buddy Bill Krug and his hard-hitting Krug crunches, and we do enjoy seeing those every week. They're a lot of fun. Well, Matt, it is that time, man. It is time to talk about Texas. Everybody knows that the Texas are the Longhorns. The mascot you see running right here, it goes by Hook'em, and the live mascot is Bevo. Everybody knows that, especially from 2018 where Bevo went after Uga, when nobody liked that. We thought it was going to be game on from then on. But the Longhorns are out of Austin. Head coach Steve Sarkisian has a long stint in the NFL. And, of course, everybody knows him from his time at USC and Alabama as the offensive coordinator there at two different periods, and has been the head coach of Texas since 2021 and has this program on the rise. As Mr. Akaki told us, the team is number one in the nation, number one in the SEC, and it's going to be a tall challenge for our Dogs. But before we get into those offensive players, let's run the game trailer, and then Matt, I'm going to let you take it over, buddy.
All right.
Sark, I've got to know Sark really well over the last couple of years. Have a lot of respect for the job he does. I mean, the most complete team that we've seen faced this year, probably multiple years. Should be a great matchup. This is really what you come to Georgia to play in these moments. The work that we put in on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is going to give us confidence to go out there and do what we need to do. One thing my coach has always told me, it's a big game because we're in it, and I think that's kind of how we're looking at it too.
Expect composure. Up. Z. Do it for each other, guys. Do it for each other.
Caught at the 30, belt to the 20, belt to the 15. They take him and spin him at the 10. Touchdown, belt.
I want to see him play the best game against Texas.
All right, so here we go, everybody. We have a lot of players to go through. We'll see some slides here at the very end comparing the two teams with Georgia and Texas together. But there are so many players that we have to talk about. So I'm going to run through this really quickly. Usually we spend more time. I usually just do offense and Kevin does defense, but we're going to run through both sides here with everybody. So I started out here with the quarterbacks. Yes, I put both quarterbacks up here because that's technically through the stat reports, Mr. Manning has more yards than Ewers. I know he's been out some games, so that's kind of what it is. And knowing Stark and how he is and some time he spent with Saban, I wouldn't put it past it, for a halftime adjustment. If, let's say, Georgia goes in there, we're beating them, or him putting in Manning and see what happens. It's worked in the past against Georgia. It may happen again. So I don't want to take that out there. Ewers is their quarterback. He has about 900 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions this year so far. He is the starter for right now. He's done well. He did get injured a little bit, so there could be some evidence there maybe to put some more hits on him, maybe helping with that. He came out last week, looked a little rusty out of the gate, but got it all together in the spring forward to beat Oklahoma. So it's just some things to look at. I still think he's an awesome quarterback. I mean, he's a really solid quarterback in general. He doesn't run a lot, so I don't think we have to worry about that. His not first thing is to run, then maybe throw second. He's definitely a pass first kind of guy, but it doesn't mean he can't run or he won't run. He can. You give him pocket opens up. We don't have anybody there shadowing him. He'll take off and run. But not his first option, especially right now. He's coming out of an injury. They may be a little more cautious with him in that sense.
And it's an oblique injury, correct?
Yeah, I think that's right. Right.
And that's similar to what JT Daniels had, right?
Yeah, right in that side area. Yep.
And so Georgia fans know a lot about that, right? Because we dealt with it with JT Daniels. It didn't take much for him to re-injure that. So. Yep. We could be looking at, like you said, a situation where Arch Manning comes into this game. So Georgia better be prepared for 2 quarterbacks. That's for sure.
Yeah, and that's something that they asked Kirby and stuff, and he said that they're planning for both. So we'll see what happens in the long run, if they plan enough or not. But who knows? Getting to the running backs, I put all 3 running backs here. They really, and this is one thing that we can start about now. Talk about now. We'll probably talk about it in the end of this show as well. This team looks a lot like the 2021 Georgia team. They are the no-name defense. They are the offensive players who spread the ball around a lot of different receivers, a good tight end, and they use a lot of good running backs. None of the running backs really have the most dominant. They're all of them are right under 300 yards total for each person. They all have about the same amount of carries. So as we go through these guys here, you can see it's Wisner, Blue, and Gibson. They have staggered out anyone from 2 touchdowns to 4 to 3. They really are really solid across this running back group. They can throw them in, which is really surprising because they lost their first 2 starting running backs before the season even started. So they've done well with these guys, scattered out the carries and the usage of these guys. But I will say, Blue is I think probably more their main guy they like to use. He does also have 100 yards receiving for them as well. Other ones do not have really any receiving yards, not really being used. But Blue seems to be that main target, the more versatile back across the board. To go into the receivers here, I try to cram all these guys in the screen, so I'm sorry, but I got all the main 3 receivers and their tight end. They love their tight end. This guy, they use him a lot. He is a safety net for them, just kind of as Bowers was for us. We do know that they say, I'm going to do using air quotes for you can't see me on screen right now, but they say that Bond may not play. He's questionable, which means he'll probably end up playing. Let's just be honest. He's probably going to play. We'll see him out there, especially an injury from last game carrying over, but we'll probably see them out there. If you guys who keep up recruiting, you may recognize that name, Wingo. He was another guy we were going hard after last year. He's a freshman. And you can see there, he's already got 2 touchdowns. He's also rushed the ball for 80 yards as well. He's a versatile wide receiver as well. We wanted him. He was a 5-star guy. They got him, and he's doing really well for them so far this year. So something to keep an eye on. You also got Matthew Golden, and like I said, in the tight end Gunner. These guys are going to be well spread around. They don't just hit on one receiver all day long. They spread the wealth just kind of like we do as well. So it's going to be very eerie to kind of watch how they manipulate their offense just kind of like we do over the last 5-something years. That's the main part of the offense piece. I want to go ahead and roll over to defense because, like I said, we got a lot of players to go through. These guys here, like I said, this is a no-name defense. Nothing like you stand out. Like these guys are going to be the first round. These guys just play hard and they play good together. I'm not even going to speak. That's the number 1 defense in the country we're looking at right here, and we'll talk about some of those numbers later on into the show when it talks about why they're the number 1 team in the nation statistically, but they are. So they're defensive linemen here. I picked out these 3. They seem to be the most 3 active ones they have, all over 300 pounds. And I forgot to mention as well, back to the offense. We can stay here on this slide, but offensive line for Texas is really good as well. They returned 4 out of 5 starters. Good, solid, mature group on the offensive line. But yeah, here on the defensive line, all 300 pounds, very, very athletic guys when it comes to the defense. They move fast and they move around. They got more guys as well. They like us. They do a lot of rotation with their defensive linemen. Look at their linebackers here. So their linebackers we have here, they are fast and they're pretty good. We have some here, which you can see most of their tackles are being made by their linebackers. That shows you kind of how good these defenses are. If you see a defense where their safeties and cornerbacks are making most of the tackles, that's not a good thing. I mean, people are getting into the second level there, and that's not good. These guys are their leading tacklers. That's a good omen that they have a good not only rushing defense, also have a good passing defense. They're able to cut off those passing lanes and get into those backfields and stuff. These guys are doing really well. They've got a freshman here who's doing solid for them as well. They move around. They're fast. They're physical, and they are very sound when it comes to their shooting their gaps when it comes to attacking the quarterback in the run game. As we get into their secondary, they have some experience concerns as well here with their guys, but still pretty active, pretty fluid. They know what they're supposed to do. They know their assignments. But this may be a place we can attack as well a little bit, in my opinion. They do have a walk-on here, kind of like we did with Dan Jackson. But I'm telling you, these guys could be playmakers when it comes to looking for interceptions and really making an impact on our passing game. So defensively, the number 1 defense in the country. They are right around. They're keeping teams to 230 yards a game. That's really good. I don't care who you're playing. That's pretty good, especially through 6 games. Less than 230 yards a game. The rushing defense is number 23 in the country, a little over 100 yards per game. Passing defense, number 2 in the country, only allowing 126 yards a game. Scoring defense, once again, number 1. Right now at 6.3 points a game total allowed for this defense. I don't care who you're playing. That's pretty good. I think some of the big issues what you'll see here is that their red zone defense is number 2 in the country. They're really, when you get in the red zone, they're not allowed a lot of touchdowns, only 57%. These guys, I think it's about a number. I think it's right. They've only allowed 1 passing touchdown all year long. So think about that. 1 passing touchdown all year long. So how is that really going to impact, Beck and those receivers? To offense, number 7 in the country. They're averaging almost 500 yards a game, almost 43 points a game for offense. In number 11 passing game, 300-plus yards in the passing game. Rushing, only 40th. Still almost 190 yards a game. Red zone offense, number 50. Third down conversions, number 13, 50% on third downs. We know, like I said, some of this stuff's starting to sound familiar for a lot of our viewers. This sounds like our 2023 teams, offense and defensively. Here's the thing here. They've only allowed 6 sacks all year long. That's 1 a game pretty much. So that back to the offensive line being a really good, solid unit for them. I don't want to keep tying up a lot of our time, but those are the both sides of the ball. Let's get into more of the show.
Thanks, man. You did a great job, buddy. I really appreciate it. We know we got a tall task ahead of us. That is for sure. Pickup challenge. So I'm still ahead, 21-14. Kevin is dropped back to third, and Matt is gaining ground. Good job, buddy.
Ole Miss screwed me last week. Ole Miss screwed me.
Gotcha.
We've been tied if it would have came through.
Yep, absolutely. Good deal. All right, well, it is that time of the week. Let's get these pick'ems done. South Carolina, Oklahoma. Let me hear it. Everybody give us your predictions. This is going to be a tough one for South Carolina. They got to go into Norman. Oklahoma is slated as a 1.5-point favorite. I just don't have any confidence in Oklahoma's offense, so I'm going to take South Carolina in a close one on this one. So I'm going South Carolina. What say you, my friend?
I'm going to follow you, man. I think South Carolina is going to still got some confidence. They had a chance at Alabama. I don't think they'll be the ones to I think they're still looking to be get that bowl game, still be bowl eligible, and I think they're going to come after. Like I said, I'm like you, that freshman quarterback playing for them right now because of the injury. I think they're going to come out and probably take advantage of the run game with them with that running back and the quarterback. So I think they have a good chance at the Sooners.
Hunter Ivy says South Carolina 28-24. Yeah, I think that's pretty close to kind of what it's going to be. John Akaki says South Carolina should be ready as they need the win. Cox 24-21. Yep, I like it. Trying to find Kevin's predictions. Kevin says South Carolina 28-22. I like that too. All right. Alabama at Tennessee. Will we get to see Tennessee smoking the cigars?
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. This is a tough one, man. This one is a tough one.
I struggle because this is an emotional pick, right?
It is.
Because you hate both of these teams.
Yep.
You really just want the field to open up and both teams to fall inside the pit and then be declared a tie, right?
Yeah.
I want a soccer game tie. That's what I want, and it's not going to happen. I just think, and I mean, I completely could be, off here because Alabama has not looked well, on offense. I mean, I'm sorry, on defense here recently. Their secondary is shaky, and I'm wondering if Tennessee will expose that. But at the same time, Tennessee's not been putting up the points like they did the first 4 games, right? The world beaters, the 50 points a game. What was it, 70 points that one game, right? We sat and talked about it. That crap was going to come back to bite you. Doing onside kicks on the first half. That just irritates me. Sorry. It's just trash. That is disrespectful football. And so I pick Alabama.
Yeah, I'm going to go Alabama too, man. I just don't think that Tennessee has enough to get it done this year.
But I still think it's a coin toss. I wouldn't be surprised either one team won. I really wouldn't.
Kevin said 33-31 Tennessee. He thinks Tennessee's going to pull it off. So how about that?
I could see that. I could honestly see a win from Tennessee. I really could. But I would like for Tennessee to have this loss and be out of it. Their schedule's not strong enough to absorb 2 losses for the playoff.
Tennessee, all right, long in Knoxville. Alabama folds. Tennessee 35-31. Well, I was looking to see if Hunter Ivy gave us a prediction. Here he goes. Alabama's been lucky to get a win in a lot of games. Vols 41-38. I like it. All right, LSU and the Hogs. Right now, LSU is favored by 2.5 points. They got that big win late last week. They're in Baton Rouge and stormed the field and got their school fine, what, $250,000?
Yeah, $250,000.
So,
what did Kevin say?
Kevin said Arkansas, 28-27.
So it looks like Kevin's trying to get back in the game. I'm picking LSU. I'm just going with you. I'm picking LSU. I think Arkansas has played above their pay grade right now, and I appreciate that. I love Sam Pittman. I want him to keep his job, but I think LSU is going to have too much big play ability to get this out of reach at some point in the fourth quarter.
I'm gonna go Arkansas, but it's gonna be a close one.
Wow.
It's always a close one for
Yeah.
Sam Pittman. It comes down to the last second field goal, overtime, something. I'm gonna go Arkansas here by 3. I think they'll win 27-24. I think it's gonna be close.
I can see it being
All
close.
right. Johnny Kaki says LSU is beginning to show promise. Tigers 41-21. Wow. Hunter Ivy says LSU's been rolling lately. Hogs are tough at home. Go Hogs, 31-28. I like it. All right. Notre Dame, Georgia Tech. This is like become a big ticket item. Aren't they playing in Mercedes?
I don't think so. Are they?
I don't know.
I know we're playing them Mercedes next season.
Maybe I was confused. But I heard that the tickets are going for a lot of money right now for some crazy reason. Yes. I don't know, man. I just got a feeling that Georgia Tech is going to come out ready to play. I'm going to take Tech.
What did Kevin say?
Kevin said
Notre Dame, didn't he? I know he did.
Notre Dame, 33-21.
Called it. He's trying to get back in it, man. I'm picking Georgia Tech, too. I think they're going to come ready to play. If they can withstand the
it is at Mercedes.
Is it? Good.
Yeah. It's at Mercedes.
If they can withstand the turnovers and stop that quarterback from running, they'll win them because that quarterback can't throw very well. So, love for them. Once again, same thing, elimination game. If Tech beats them, Notre Dame's out. They're done. So, my little brother needs to step up into his job.
That's right. Georgia Tech wins by using the vintage slider rule. Play 34-27. All right, Mr. Ivy, where are you at? I need your prediction. Georgia Tech in a close one, 24-21. I like it.
Where's John? Where's your dad at?
He's playing pickleball, I think.
Oh my Lord.
Yep. All right, the game of the week. The Dogs and the Longhorns.
Let's go ahead and pick Kevin's.
Kevin says 38-35 UGA. I think it's going to be a close one too. We have got to go point for point. We cannot get behind and expect to catch up like we did against Bama. We got to come out fast. We got to be very balanced, be able to run the ball, pass the ball, and I think the Dogs can pull it off and win. I'm going to go 33-30 Dogs.
All right. Let me take a drink.
Kaki says 31-30 Dogs.
All right, so here it goes. I am picking Texas to win the game. You can put me on the screen all you want to.
Hey, y'all gave me grief when I said that Alabama was going to win.
I just, and I'm going to say this for a reason here. It's because I have terrible luck. Me and my dad like to drink all the time. We have peak luck. So if we didn't have luck at all, it would just be bad luck all the time. So I'm picking them because I believe if I pick them on this show, that they will revolt against me and show up this Saturday and beat Texas. So I'm willing to forfeit winning the Pick'em Challenge for a win for my team. That's my strategy.
I like it.
Just being real.
Hey,
that's my strategy.
I tried it for Alabama. It didn't work out so well. I
think they're a good team. I don't think they've really played anybody to our caliber yet. That's why I think we talked about earlier. in the show, I don't think their statistics really match up with what they're doing. Yeah, they're right. They're holding teams to 130 yards passing. Well, none of the 4 out of the teams they played are in the 100s in ranking of passing offenses. None of them, 2 of them have been true freshmen, right? So let's talk about the teams. Yes, does that mean anything? I mean, it could not be. They still got to play them. They still got to beat them, and they're lining up and they're still beating these teams. And I'm telling you, they look a lot like that 2021 team, and we went undefeated. 21. Yes, we lost Alabama, right? And then we won the Natty, which was great. But I'm telling you, I think we can beat them. I really do. I think if Beck comes out and these guys, hey, I'm going to show up, and 2 things got to happen in my opinion. 2 things have to happen for us to win the game. All right? We cannot have penalties at poor times. Our penalties were better last game, but they happened at the worst possible times.
Yep.
You can't get 3rd down and off the field and do something stupid like push a quarterback for no reason.
Yep.
That's stupid. That's undisciplined football. You're being a bully, and that doesn't help you in the game. Yep. I think that's what Kirby got so pissed about. Is that their undisciplined, stupid play.
Yep.
And so we eliminate those and we eliminate turnovers. I think we win the game by 10 points. Not even joking. I think they're catch us in the 4th quarter. If we can eliminate penalties at the right time, we can have penalties. We're going to have penalties. That's going to happen. If the guy plays physical, you're going to have penalties. We can't have penalties on 3rd and out. Give them the ball, give them life. And no turnovers, we win the game.
Yep.
Easily.
Hunter Ivy has a great point. Says Texas hasn't been tested at all. It's easy to have those stats when you play FCS schools in Michigan. Dogs show up in this one. Yep.
It also means they're healthy, though. It means they're healthy.
Yep.
We're banged up. We got guys who are going to jail. We have guys who are out injured. So, I mean, every time we have a bad game, it's the guy got arrested the day before. I mean, think about the terrible game at Alabama, right? Harris got arrested before the game.
Yep.
Last week, what happened before the game? We got another guy goes arrested. Their focus this week, no one's been arrested, so God knows what will happen. Gosh knows. Maybe they'll score 50. Who knows?
Yep. Yep, absolutely. Well, I think the keys to the game are going to be, like you said, penalties. We got to play discipline and not have the crazy penalties that we've had in the past. And we have got to be balanced. We got to get our running game going, man. We did against Mississippi State. I mean, we busted off that 30-yard run, and then it got called back for a holding penalty, which goes, golly. I was encouraged in Mississippi State to see some new play calls out of Bobo, and those play calls be executed. So that's a good sign. So I feel like that our offense is moving in the right direction. Hopefully our defense shows up this week, guys. We got to stop. We got to get some stops. Got to get some stops. And we're not.
Go ahead.
They are going to get stops, and that's what I was just going to say. Their defense is going to get stops, but we got to get some stops because we're not going to be able to stop them the whole game. But just got to get enough.
Their defense is going to make tackles. I watch those games. Some of the games. They don't miss a lot of tackles. They're going to wrap you up. So all these little, throwing out to and I get it. I get the purpose of it, the strategy behind stretching the field, getting them out, and put guys in space, right? But those little throw out to the sideline and try to hope we can miss one guy and take off, getting 5-6 yards. That won't happen. These guys are not going to. These guys won't have missed tackles. If they do, that means they just had a terrible game. These guys don't miss a lot of tackles, and that's what Oklahoma struggled with. They couldn't move the ball because they did these little dump off plays, and the guys didn't miss tackles. I don't mind to make a tackle if it's a 30-yard bomb. We do a 30-yard catch to Arian actually someone can catch the ball maybe to Bell, right? And he gets tackled. I don't care. 30 yards. Keep that pressure on them. Make them stretch that field that way. That opens up the run game like we all know.
Yep, absolutely. Hunter Ivy says the key to the game is pressure. We have to get some pressure on Ewers to take the pressure off our secondary. Our running game has to get going to control the clock and get us those 3rd and shorts. Yep. And he says also our boys need to tackle better. Totally agree. Akaki says no turnovers. Delp and luckily go off on Texas. Tight ends win this game for us. They're blocking on the edge and intermediate catches. Move the chains. Yep. Totally agree. Well, guys, we are we're 6 minutes over. We got to wrap this thing up. Let me get the music playing, and we will get this thing concluded. All right, guys, we are headed to Austin, Texas. Go take on those nasty, stinking Longhorns there in Texas. Our Dogs are going to give them their best. We're going to support them no matter what. But I'm planning on being back here next Friday night to talk about the big win in Austin, Texas. And keep on hit us. Come show because I'm sick of missing it. I'm